Hi. Thank you for showing up and doing this conversation with me. I'm so intrigued to know your story. I just feel there is so much grit, so much empathy, and so much courage in yours. So I want to learn from you and explore. This is the StoryFlow Podcast, where I capture stories of entrepreneurs like you to unravel the human side of entrepreneurship and just learn from you. Let's go flowing.
And I love that emphasis. I love the human side of entrepreneurship because sometimes you can feel like it's a bit dehumanizing at times. So I love the mission.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So you run a market research qualitative company. It sounds like much great in San Francisco. I would like to know that amongst all the choices you've ever had in life, why did you choose this and how did you end up?
It was actually a very conscious choice, and the reason that I made the choice is the reason that I still do what I do every day. So I was in marketing very briefly out of school. It's just what I thought one was supposed to do that sounded cool. And I was very junior on the totem pole and got loaned out to the one woman who was in charge of customer insights at the organization to help take notes for some interviews and groups she was doing. And I think it was the end of the second day that I realized where marketing is telling people what they want and need, market research and consumer insights flips it. And it really is the feedback loop for people to tell brands and companies what they need. And I really loved that idea of being like the mouthpiece or passing the mic or giving people a chance to impact brands that impact their lives. So that's what got me into it. Now I could have a job at another firm, so that's a different question. But I think the reason that I've ended up building up an agency in the space is because it is for a second set of reasons. So I love my industry, very involved in the whole insights industry as I always have been in my career, but I think it is one that can be slow to change and it can be slow to innovation. And so I had a lot of soapbox moments where I felt really strongly about something and I wanted to do something different. So building up the agency has helped me have a say and help propel the industry forward as well.
Wow. I love this thing that you created kind of in your head that, hey, you are marketing, you're doing everything, but are you doing it right or not? Is the answer for that, right? And tell me about being a woman in this space. When you started this, how was it like?
So I am very lucky because my portion of the industry is very female dominant. So the qualitative side tends to be the percentage of women on that side of the industry is higher than the quantitative or data analytics or tech side of the industry. I go to a lot of, we're sitting here at the WPO event. I go to a lot of women industry and women leaders events, and I always have this little slight guilt because my industry is so warm and welcoming to women. And really the women that have mentored me through the industry have been the reason that I'm here. We have a very collaborative, sharing, transparent, supportive environment of women leaders in our space.
Wow. And have you been in a spot where you really think or you thought that I can't do this a lot more? It's hard to continue, but then you maybe were on the edge, something happened, and you're still here?
Yes. So I've been in business for 21 years. So many times is the answer to that question. And it's been a really organic process, right? I went from freelancing and consulting to running a very small business to now running on an agency model. So there's been a lot of those types of moments. I think because we are project-based, I think part of the challenge sometimes is, oh, here we go again. Or here, oh, I've got a pitch again. Oh, we've got new objectives. Oh, we're going, okay, here we like, all right. And it can feel like the energy drain can be tricky. So there's been a number of things that I and we really have done as an organization over the years to mitigate that. So we've productized a lot of things over time so that we have some trademarks, we have some methodologies that are a little bit more plug and play, a little bit more price tag on that. So we have some of that's a little less heavy lifting up at the beginning. And also, I just really try to make sure that my team has almost a good diet of projects.
Yeah.
So you go from a super intense one to a quick and easy fun one and make sure that the pace keeps it interesting. And I try to look out for them because that's happened so much to me over the years.
Yeah. Oh, so it's very different. You're taking your own experience to extrapolate for your team members, and that makes the organization. And that, yeah.
I think that's part of being the doer that starts the business, right? Because a lot of entrepreneurs, they start a business because they see a business opportunity, right?
Exactly.
Which is different than someone who's lived and breathed it as a practitioner than starting the business, right? So I'm sensitive to both the pros and the cons of being a practitioner that started the business around that.
I see you. I did the same. 8 years I was into this and practicing. I did not know where it was going to go, but I just loved doing it. And then when it happened, I think sometimes the struggle with people like us is that how are we going to clone ourselves and the way we think in our team members? Because they may not feel it as much as we do. Right?
I didn't know how to run a business before I was running a business.
Exactly.
Right? Because I didn't go to business school. Like, I learned by doing. And I think with folks like us, as again, you have to like that too.
Right.
So you have to discover that you also like the challenges and the benefits and the wins and all of that emotion around being a business owner, being an entrepreneur, as well as doing the thing. And those are not necessarily, they don't always both exist. I feel lucky that we like both things.
And we are blessed to have a life that we love the work we do, and we are not wanting a break from it. Of course, normal breaks are good, but then, yeah. Tell me something about the kind of person entrepreneurship has made you.
Yeah, it's definitely made me a little tougher. I think I'm a very heart-led, empathetic person. And that's still very core values of our team and our company. And we're very heart and gut driven. But being an entrepreneur and growing the business has got me balanced with the head a little bit more. And just learning how to make decisions and tough calls and prioritizing things and having hard conversations, that I think spills over into the rest of my life, right? I'm doing that in the business. So at the same time, have gotten more comfortable with just being stronger, more decisive, more of a leader in life too.
Yeah, I heard this quote sometime that you want to run a business, so you will have to fill up all those issues that you have. So if your control issues will be visible in the way you manage people, your issues about your self-worth will be visible how you sell,
Yes.
and then it's just about leveling up, so you work on everything.
Yes. And that's, I think, the important thing is being transparent about that, right? And I mean, I have such deep affection for my team because I have had to be that vulnerable with them. Like, oh, I'm working on that, or that's an Achilles heel of mine. If you see me doing that, please call it out. Please keep me honest because I'm trying to grow and improve in these ways because it is so visible. All of your stuff is just out there.
Let it actually fall on, and then you're going to pick it up.
Yeah.
But I need validation for that because I do it sometimes. I think, am I not being too vulnerable and open? Because,
yeah, and I think it encourages others to do the same, right? And then really you can understand more about all of your journeys.
Yeah.
And be there to support each other.
Right.
I have a system on our team. We work with an Enneagram-based coach. And so that's kind of the language that we use on the team. And I love it because it's not like personality type. Right. It's based on motivation. So to come from that standpoint of what your default motivation is or what the rationale is for how you approach your work. And we all know that we have the same language and we're able to really support each other. And it becomes less about you did this thing, but because you're a type X, is that coming out? Or how can I help with that? Because I'm on the other side of the circle. So that's been really invaluable. That's been amazing.
You need to have that. And I think that's a differentiator for you, right? See, you look at your team members. They can work anywhere, but if they get this, they feel like they're being developed. We also have an, very qualified leadership coach working with our team members all the way to France. And, she actually is so wonderful. She will explain them to them and then bless them. So I feel that is bad, right? And just a very small one, but I feel this is a work that nobody wants to leave away,
I agreed. I completely agreed. And I like to say, like Shailene says, so if I reference her, sometimes it helps bolster things that I need to convey to the team as well.
Wow.
Small shout out to Shailene. Thank you.
We need so many Shailenes.
And we do. We all need some Shailenes.
Yeah. And just that it's been a very long journey for you, right? People look at you, she's got it all, but they still have Do you have a message to other entrepreneurs just listening to you?
I think the main thing that I learned very slowly, and I don't think you can learn it quickly, is to understand the rhythm of your business, because it is so scary when things dip and it's so exciting when things spike, right? But looking back over the years, now I can see the patterns. But it was only because I was paying attention to them and making notes of that. And so I really think it's important for leaders to watch the patterns, the rhythms, the ebbs, the flows, what's affecting those. Is it seasonal? Is it about a certain type of product or a certain industry or a certain size of team or a certain type of project, right? There's so many factors. But I think now when things rock a little bit, I can go back to that memory bank and think about the patterns and think about the themes and make some plans, have some kind of plan A, B, and C based on that history. So I think I mentor a lot of newer entrepreneurs and newer leaders, and the focus, quite rightfully, is on growth and moving ahead and gaining and all of that stuff. But I really think the tracking and the noticing is so important because it will reassure you later.
I'm sure that's a qualitative data speaking.
Yes. Yeah. I'm sorry. That just totally came through. But that's what we were saying about, like, we are what we do.
Exactly. I feel people start businesses for various reasons. But if it is for money, all the best. Because you are going to hit the wall very soon. Because if you are doing that, you will not find it naturally coming out to you, right?
Right.
It's not your authentic self. And if it is authentic to you, very natural to you, you're going to come up with stuff nobody ever did. And so you never have to think about competition, then everything will solve, but you get up. So this is what you are. You embody yourself, you know?
It's true. And I think we have to be, as qualitative researchers and strategists, we have to always be thinking on our feet. Every interaction, we have to get creative. We have to have plans up our sleeve. We have to be ready to pivot and move and adjust. And I haven't thought about that before this conversation, but that could be part of weathering all the storms over the past years that we've been able to do as an organization, because we do that in our day-to-day.
Well, and that's your testimonial. And I think amongst so many other people in your industry, if someone had to really choose to work with you, that's it.
I would say that's one of the things.
Of course,
Yes.
I know, but it's a very big challenge because that's going to take you longer, like the relationship, right?
It's true, because I think our clients really trust us to flow with them and let us in a little bit further behind the scenes, because they know we're agile and we're fluid and we're able to really incorporate anything going on with them along the way.
I think one of the last questions I want to ask you is that I want to explore networking through different people, because I think this came to me naturally. I realized this after I connected all my dots in my life, that my career has been built on the rich people, in terms of the people who want to give, people who love me, that the network is. And often I see that entrepreneurs and even senior leaders, howsoever senior they are, they struggle with it. They have difficulty creating the real talk and conversation. How do you approach that network?
So I don't use that word.
Oh,
But intentionally.
Right.
So I use the word
Connecting.
right? So if my goal at any event or interaction is to find connections, then I don't feel like I'm networking. I feel like I'm helping, and that all comes back around.
Wow.
So it happened just at lunch today. There was a woman sitting at the table, and I thought of a woman that I met last week, and there's a synergy there. And I asked, would you mind if I put
Oh
you
my
in
God, I
touch?
do that
Right.
all the
Yes.
time.
And then they'll remember you. And you've
Exactly.
grown your network because you're a helper, not because you were asking something or selling something. And I think if we all put that energy, there's a woman in my industry that uses the hashtag always be helping.
Right.
Shout out to Priscilla. Okay, we're just going to send all the love. But I loved that philosophy about collaboration, connection, helping. Then it just takes all, for me, it takes all the weight and the pressure and like the heaviness of making networking moves, right? It just becomes much more pleasant.
Like the weather and like the spot
Yeah.
we are at.
Exactly. Like this doesn't feel like networking.
It doesn't. It's like,
Just a connection.
right. Okay. Thank you, Katrina, for being here.
And thank you for the opportunity. I really do appreciate it.
You are a and a great person. Energy to be here. And I think people get inspired with you, and they will be. Thank you.
And please reach out.
Yeah.